All right, watching the last Georgia game, it's like two totally different teams. We're obviously a lot further along than we were the first time we played them, but Georgia's a lot further along as well. Coach Crean done a very, very good job with their team. We've obviously got a huge issue in stopping Wheeler. It's going to be a big problem for us. We couldn't stop him in transition last game. We couldn't stop him in the half court. He was creating. He was scoring. He had 27 at Florida the other night. They had 33 points in transition against us in the game a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago. So they torched us in transition. Kyer, the transfer from Mason, he hit 6 threes on us, which was tough. P.J. Horn did a great job cutting. P.J. Horn. Fagan did a great job cutting and making plays and getting on the offensive glass. Horn's a very good three-point shooter. Kamara finishes everything around the rim. He had 10 rebounds on us, really, really hurt us on the glass, and he's a menace in transition. And they've added Johnson, who brings a lot of toughness to him. They've started playing Johnson and 11 a lot more, brings some toughness and energy to him. They're still playing Garcia. He's been hurt. He had a broken nose. He played with a mask at Florida. He was a little bit limited. But he's an elite offensive rebounder. He has a 14% offensive rebounding rate, which is double the national average. So very, very good offensive rebounding rate. And then McMillan, somebody, junior college kid from New Orleans. He's been playing more. So we're going to have to do a great job. We're going to have to get back in transition. We're going to have to limit our live ball turnovers, and we're going to have to block them out. 3 areas that have certainly been issues for us throughout the season. Looks like no questions, Brandon. We can move on. Usually Ron and them have already typed question before I even say the first word out of my mouth.
Hey, Coach, this is Ed in New Orleans. How you doing?
Hey, Ed. We don't get to see you very often. How you doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. How you doing?
Good.
Coach, how do you look at, because of the way this season has gone on, do you look at it from a different lens, or do you just critique it like you normally would?
I mean, we try to be as normal as we can, in an abnormal season, abnormal world, but certainly our expectations are still high. I mean, look, if we're going to play the games, no matter what the circumstances are, the goal is to win, and you got to do what you got to do to win. And if we're going to, if we're cleared and everybody's cleared to practice that day, we're still going to have a great practice and move forward towards what we're trying to get to. So I understand, what you're asking is a little bit. Is it a little bit different? Yes. Has it been a little, have we tried to be as normal as possible and do things as normal as possible? Absolutely. I mean, as long as they're keeping score, people care. And as long as they're keeping score, you want to have more points than the other team. And so you've got to do what you got to do to try to win. But our guys have been really, really good about things and going about their business. And so that's made it a little bit easier probably on our end, on my end as the coach. But our expectations are still high. We're still demanding all those type things.
It's kind of a quick follow-up. Do you think that maybe are you turning the corner lately? Do you think like you're kind of in a position to play your best game, or what do you think?
We're getting closer. I hope so. We're getting closer, and we need to start doing that. I was talking to our staff this morning. There's still 8 to 10 different things I think we can do better. We've got some buttons we can still push. I think we've got 2 or 3 guys we can still get some more out of production-wise, both offensively and defensively. So I think there's still some low-hanging fruit out there for us to improve. But I think the Tennessee and Auburn games have been closer to our best 40 minutes. We haven't gotten there yet, but I think it's been closer.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. How are you?
Good, Jack. How are you?
Good. You had those strong comments.
Nice award back there. I like how you put your awards behind you. I like that.
When you only get a few, you've got to showcase them, right?
Well, so, it's more than I got, so that's good.
Not like LSU baseball, who's got 50 behind it. But Coach, you made those strong comments after the game about taking you as the head coach, taking control of the team. Did you at one point kind of give them more ownership and then say, hey, I need to get, not that you ever got soft by any stretch, but hey, I got to get back to,
Yeah, I mean, I listened to our guys and really probably overcompensated. Maybe that's partly what Ed was asking too. I maybe overcompensated the other way on doing things a little bit lighter and trying to do things, just a little bit differently. And I probably overcompensated the other way. And I want to be clear. We're not overcompensating. We've struck a fine balance. This isn't as hard line as I've been in the past, but it's certainly a lot more than what we were doing. And so I think we've struck a good balance. We found a good balance right now. We've just got to stay the course with it, win or lose. The results have been better, but our preparation's been better. Everything that goes into winning's been a lot better as well.
Hey, well, it doesn't really look like Georgia's offensive numbers have kind of dipped at all since since you guys played them a couple weeks back. What would you attribute to, I guess, maybe what the biggest difference in transition defense has been for you guys the last couple of games? Seems like you guys are doing, a lot better about just getting back and getting into your set defense a little better.
Well, the first thing is we haven't turned the ball over as much. We only had 12 turnovers the other day. We haven't turned it over as much, and we certainly hadn't had as many live ball turnovers, which has been helpful. That'll probably be my famous last words, because we had a ton of live ball turnovers and gave up a ton of transition points on our last game against Georgia. But, Georgia plays so fast. They have one of the 5 fastest or 25 fastest paces in the country. Coach Crean does a great job getting the pace, the space, the cutting, the movement. They really make it challenging on you to guard them. So it'll be a big challenge. Yeah, our transition defense has improved, but it's a little different when Kamara's running down that lane and Wheeler's bringing that ball. Wheeler's bringing that ball at 90 miles an hour right down Main Street, right down the seam. So we've gotten better, but we're gonna need to be at our best. We're gonna need to be better than we were against Tennessee, certainly, and much better than we were against Auburn to get the ball settled and get going in the half court with our defense.
Hey, Will, Javonte over the last month has really stepped up in terms of his scoring and probably saved the Alabama game, I guess. But was there something about a month ago that changed, or was that just a product of him kind of being that veteran guy and just settling down a little bit, I guess?
No, nothing's really changed. I think he just, I think he was almost back to what Jacques was talking about earlier. I think he almost, was trying to, play point guard, and he's a scoring point guard. That's who he is. That's what we recruited. That's what we knew we were getting. I think he was overcompensating, trying to maybe, think too much and think, I passed it to this guy last time and I passed it. No, just play. Just make the play, read the game. The ball will move. It'll find you. Now look at it. I think he had 6 assists the other night and scored a bunch of points. It's all moved up and it's all going well. And so it's really just him just being comfortable and getting into what he does. He's playing like who he is. Probably before he was a little bit more cautious.
Hey, well, I'm just curious, how much do you feel the improved play of guys like Hyatt and LeBlanc and the return of Wilkinson have allowed your big 3 or big 4 to step up their game?
Yeah, well, we need the big 3 and big 4 to play better than they have been playing when we were losing too. Now, they need to play. They need to play better. Those big 4 guys, but. And Wani can make, that block he made in that last game, we need 2 or 3 plays like that a game. He can do that. He made a huge save in the Georgia game defensively, the first one to help us win. But that block, we need 2 to 3 of those a game. LeBlanc, he's got to be consistent. We got to have back-to-back strong performances from him. He's teased us a little bit a couple times, and we got to be able to be consistent and be able to do this back-to-back. Hyatt's starting to show some consistency. He's consistent on the backboards. He's consistent offensive rebounding. He's getting good looks. And then Eric Gaines is somebody that's some low-hanging fruit. Like, he can really take us to another level. Obviously, you see how good he is defensively, but he can really help us offensively too. And so he's somebody that hopefully over the next couple of weeks we can get going offensively and keep the defensive intensity and keep the defensive pressure up. But I feel good about those 8 guys. I thought Cook came in and did some good things. You can see Josh Gray can play. It's just tougher when we're playing guys without traditional bigs. I mean, I really believe in Cook, his work ethic. He came in and did some nice things in that game, so could come back around to him. But I do think having more production from all those guys, Hyatt being a two-way player offensively and defensively has helped us. LeBlanc, when he can finish in there, has really helped us as well. So feel good about those guys' progress, but we've got to keep them playing at a high level and bring a couple more guys along. Because Imwani can make some game-changing plays for us defensively, and Gaines can make some game-changing plays for us offensively. And we're still not quite there yet with both those guys. But they're both great players, great people. They're working hard, and I think it's coming.
Morning, Coach. What's the injury status with Sharif O'Neal?
Well, we're still working on it. He was in there getting treatment early this morning. We did a little shooting workout this morning at 7, and he was in there getting treatment on that at 7. So, he won't play today or this week. We're still just working on it. He's in there getting treatment and doing what he can. He's able to watch practice and do some stuff on the side, some conditioning, so he's able to stay in shape on the bike and on the elliptical and do a couple exercises with Coach Golden. But right now his foot's just not at a point where we feel comfortable or he feels comfortable or we feel comfortable moving forward. So we'll kind of be a week-by-week thing.
Coach, I just wanted to ask you, what has it been like for you to kind of work with John Brady, former LSU head coach, on the broadcast and everything? And do you guys enjoy talking about basketball, sharing stories and everything?
He's been great, man. He's been awesome. He's been an unbelievable resource for me. Obviously a tremendous coach, and his expertise is, on the defensive end. He's given me some good ideas. One of the worst parts about everything now is we don't have anybody coming in practice. Like, he used to come to practice a couple times a week. He'd certainly come the day before games, and I'd be able to run things by him or run things off of him. Tell you what, that year we won the SEC, he really helped me after we lost at Houston. I talked to him on the plane for a long time. It's just great, having him around. He loves LSU. I'm hopeful that we can get him in the LSU Hall of Fame at some point for being in the Final Four coach and doing everything that he's done for LSU and for the state. But he's been awesome. I didn't really know him at all before I got here, but we've become good friends. We text, we talk. He gives me observations. I wish he's so nice and he's so worried about, I wish he'd text me. A lot of times he don't text me any observations till I ask him. I'm like, Coach, what do you think about this? What can we do better here? That sort of thing. But, I wish he'd just text me out of the blue, but he's so cautious not to be, he doesn't want to be seen as overly involved or overly overbearing. But he's been absolutely awesome. He's been one of the best things that's happened is having him back around, having him doing the radio. And I don't know, I know he's great on the radio because Chris tells me he's great on the radio. I've never heard the broadcast, but he's been really good. And like I said, I hope he can get in that LSU Hall of Fame. He deserves it, and he's done a lot for the school, and he loves LSU. He's back in Louisiana, and I hope he can find a way to get in that thing.
Yeah, he got all of his overbearing out early in his coaching career at LSU. So Jack and I bore the brunt of most of that.
Damn, Cobble, I was trying to be nice. I was being really nice, and you just. Tasman says that. Tasman says he's a totally different person. Tasman, I don't even recognize who he is.
Yeah, that's accurate. That is
Jacques
accurate.
Shaking his head. Everybody's shaking their head. Kent's in the back here shaking his head. So
That's off the record.
That's Kent's
You're
even
extreme compared to some of the stuff John would say.
Kent,
for Kent at least.
Kent's even. Oh, I don't know. Kent gets a little nervous when I get up here sometimes. Now, guys, Kent.
He just doesn't want you to cuss.
Kent's-
He's looking for those FCC fines.
Kent's on the edge of his seat. What we got?
Are you at the point of the season where you started talking to them about positioning, or are we still a week away from that?
Oh no, we've talked about it. We got to position ourselves down the stretch here. We got to finish strong. I thought that was a good first step. We got another quad 2 opportunity at Georgia tomorrow night, and so it's a big opportunity for us. But no, we're very transparent. We started talking about that after we lost to Alabama, positioning and where we are and where we need to go. And so I always believe on hitting that stuff. Hitting that stuff head on. I think that's important. Everybody's got to know where we are and know what we're playing for, and know what's know what's ahead, and know what the the positives and negatives are, the repercussions, good and bad, based on what we do. So no, we've been talking about that probably for 2 weeks.